I'm going to walk through how to upload a podcast on YouTube, whether you've never uploaded anything to YouTube at all, or you've already been uploading regular videos, but you want to know what the most important settings are specifically for podcast episodes. There are some easy to miss settings or opportunities when uploading that I want to make sure you don't miss. And there's one setting that's really good for getting people to binge your episodes that I'll show you before we wrap up. So watch until the end if you want to be able to access that. Now, the first thing I want to do is make sure you have the ability to upload podcast episodes. So I'm here in YouTube Studio, and we're going to click on Settings. Then we're going to click Channel. Then we're going to click Feature Eligibility. Now just make sure that you have intermediate features and advanced features enabled. So if you don't have a green enabled button on all three of these, then just go through and follow the steps to verify your channel so you can have access to them. Because without them, you won't be able to upload episodes over 15 minutes. You won't be able to have links in your description. A lot of important things will be missing. Now let's upload an episode. I'm here in YouTube Studio, but you can see this button, I think, from pretty much anywhere on YouTube. I'm going to click this Create button in the upper right corner. And then I'm going to choose Upload Videos. Now you might think, oh, I need to do new podcast, but this is new podcast button is actually for setting up your podcast on YouTube. And if you haven't done that yet, we have another video that covers that, and I will link to it in the description. In this one, we're focusing specifically on uploading. So you're going to choose Upload Videos, same button you would choose if you were uploading a regular video. Then on this screen, you can drag the video version of your episode in or select it, whatever is easiest for you. And after a couple of seconds, it's going to bring you to this upload screen. Now, by default, the title is going to come up with whatever your file name was. You can see this is How to Increase Productivity version 2, because that's what my editor put in there. So if it's not the right title, go ahead and make sure that it is the right title. Now, if it is a podcast episode, and this one that I'm uploading right now is an episode of my Done by Lunch Entrepreneurs podcast, don't add the episode number to the title because someone doesn't want to click on episode 47 if they find a video in search. If you feel like you really should, then you can add it to the end, but I would put the episode number down here in the description. Next is your description, and you'll notice that here I have a lot of stuff already filled in. Now, if you don't have that set up for your channel, you want to go back to Settings here in YouTube Studio, and then this button, Upload Defaults, and then you can go through and you can fill in information that you might have in every single video, and then it'll show up there by default. Huge time saver if you have a lot of the same stuff in every video. Go ahead and fill out the description with whatever you want to be there, but the first two lines are the most important because those are the ones that are going to show before somebody clicks more. And that's where you want to include any keywords that you are trying to rank for on YouTube. So the two keywords I'm going for are increased productivity and productivity hacks. And so I want to make sure to say those again here in the description. Next thing below that is to add a thumbnail. And while you can choose a thumbnail based on stills that were pulled from the video, strongly recommend making a custom thumbnail to really get people to click. We're not going to go deep in that in this video, but definitely something worth doing. And if you really are feeling ambitious, you can use this test and compare feature we have now and upload up to 3 different thumbnails, and YouTube will test them out. And the one that gets the most clicks and watch time will actually stay on as the permanent thumbnail. Next up is playlists. This is an important setting because this is how you are designating it as a podcast. So we're going to click the drop down, and certain playlists have been designated as podcasts. So you can see that by the tag here over on the right side. So you may only have one, but once you go through setting up your podcast on YouTube, which is that other video I mentioned earlier, you're going to see these. So this is an episode of Done by Lunch Entrepreneurs. I'm going to go ahead and click that box and then come down here and hit done. Other important settings, if you have a sponsor or any sort of paid promotion in your video, make sure you click this box because your channel will get in big trouble if they find out later. This is a newer question that YouTube is not forcing us to answer as of this recording, but they want to know if you have anything in there generated by AI that might be highly misleading. So I'm just getting in the habit of checking no now. I think eventually they may force us to answer that question, depending on if people abuse AI or not. Next is to add tags, and tags, they'll even say here, are mainly only helpful if things in your video are commonly misspelled. But I'm going to go ahead and at least put in the 2 things that I was looking to rank for. There's a lot more settings that are relatively self-explanatory. Go ahead and choose, obviously, the proper language. If you don't have a default category set, or if you're doing something different than your channel, then you can choose something different. There's only a handful of categories here. So you can see mine is education. It's not really an education channel in a sense, but we do teach entrepreneurs things here. So that's just been the best option for me. I don't fill out any of the rest of this stuff. Once I'm done on this screen, I click next. And if you have a channel that's monetized, I'm assuming you already know how to do that by now because you've obviously been uploading for a while. Next, you need to go through and let YouTube know if your video episode has anything that falls under these things. Because some of their advertisers don't want their ads showing next to adult content or enabling dishonest behavior or whatever it might be. So my stuff doesn't usually fall under this stuff, but if it does, do declare it. Otherwise, you click none of the above and click submit rating. If you want to upload subtitles that you've generated somewhere else, you can add them here. I just use YouTube's built-in subtitling tool, which happens automatically. Then I'm going to hit next. It's telling me it didn't find any copyright issues in my video episode. Then I'm going to hit next. And now this is where you choose when to schedule it. So I'm going to click schedule. This episode is coming out on Monday at 7 a.m. my time. You can click this set as premiere button. And what will happen is it'll basically create the video on your channel where people can't watch it, and there'll be a countdown letting them know when it is going to premiere. The cool thing about this setting is if you have that, then you can link to the video before it exists, basically. So if you wanted to send out an email to your list or schedule it ahead of time, knowing that it'll be live at 7 a.m., you could use that. I've heard from some YouTubers, though, that when they tried the premiere, they felt like their views were lower, which is good enough for me not to use it. Then once you're ready, you just hit schedule and you'll be all set. Now I want to show you one more feature that can help getting people binging your episodes, which YouTube loves, you should love, especially if you're an online entrepreneur. Real quick though, if you found this video helpful, I would love it if you would let me know so I can make more videos like it. You can do that by clicking that like button or leaving me a comment down below. And if you want to learn more about how to run an online business in half the time, that's what we teach here on the Done by Lunch Entrepreneurs channel. So consider hitting subscribe and clicking that bell so you'll be notified. We've got some great videos coming out soon and you may not want to miss them. If you've ever been listening to a podcast and they say, hey, if you liked this episode, you might also like episode 22, and you thought, oh yeah, I would like episode 22, but it's a hassle to go and find that episode. Well, the beautiful thing on YouTube is you can link directly to that episode you're referring to on the screen. So back here on this Video Elements tab, there's this option to add an end screen. So you can click add. Then up here, we're going to click plus element and choose video. And at the end of this video about productivity hacks, and I have another episode I want them to check out. So I'm going to click down here on choose specific video. And you can search your videos here, or you can link to videos from other channels too, but you can search your videos here. And this one was called 7 Lies That Kept Me Working Too Much. So it's again about productivity. And so I click on it, and now this is going to appear on the screen at the end of this video. And so once you've got that where you want it down here, you can hover over this black line and you can trim where you want it to start. Then that will appear at the end of your episode, and you can ask people to click on it. Now, one thing to know, you can't start it any earlier than 20 seconds before it ends, okay? So this episode is 6 minutes and 4 seconds, and you can see here, it won't let me start it until 5 minutes and 44 seconds. And now I'm gonna show you that feature in use. Believe it or not, podcasting has been around for 20 years. There's a lot of advice out there on the internet that doesn't work anymore. So if you have a podcast, you may wanna check out the video on the screen right now, podcasting tips that won't work anymore and what to do instead, all right? I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.